moving forward, I know I'm new here. Some of you guys know me quite well, some of you don't. But as we move forward in our lessons, I'm going to be structuring all of these lessons or these lessons in these classes as a semester, because as we grow and get new members, I will have to repeat some of the content. So my question to you guys as we start off on this new semester is this first month, what are you guys specifically looking to cover? What do you want me to cover is the better question. So seriously, and I know you may not have an answer right now, but I'm going to be covering 3 things here, and I'll make an announcement and I'll come up with some topics that you guys will be able to vote for, and I'll put that out into the free Discord channel as well. So we can reach a broader audience and see what you guys are really looking for. But I'll be covering 3 things. So it's going to be risk management, it's going to be psychology, and it's going to be overall wellness. And all of those interplay with each other. I sort of think of our overall wellness as similar to a tripod. If you have, yourself balanced on these 3 legs, this tripod, one of the legs would be your mental health, one of them would be your physical health, and the other would be your spiritual health. And as one of those starts to degrade or fall, the whole tripod is going to fall over. So that's what I'm focusing on here, is not just, specifically risk management in the market, or specifically psychology, or just wellness about how you should eat and work out. No, what I want to do is bring a complete picture to who you are, and who you are in, the disciplines you apply to your life is going to be directly affecting your trading ability or any other skill set that you're venturing on. Because it's not like, you think of a pro basketball player, and if he's getting drunk the night before a game, getting hammered, and he hasn't been eating well or working out, how do you think he's going to be performing in that game? Or if has a ton of built up anxiety over one part of his life or another, it's going to affect his game and his chemistry with his teammates. And same with spiritual health. I mean, truly, if you are really down in the dumps in your faith, or the things that you believe in, where your morals rest, if you're uncertain about those things, it's going to directly affect every aspect of your life. So that's the point I'm trying to get across here, is we're going to be covering a wholeness of your trading, and that's including you. So some of the conversations are going to get a bit in depth and personal at times, and other are pretty standard and superficial. Superficial meaning we're going to stay surface level on, maybe it's just technical analysis on how you should be structuring your risk management on position sizing or whatever it might be. So let's move forward, but have that question in the back of your mind. How do you want these lessons, these upcoming lessons, to go? Because I'm not going to cover a topic that only one person is struggling with, and everybody else is really confident in their ability to perform that task or duty. So let's move forward. I will give you guys some options, and I'll structure those lessons coming forward. So don't mean to beat the dead horse. Let's get into this. Today's lessons is titled "The Importance of Diligence in Trading," and the subheading is measurement and management. And so, just to touch on that a little bit, when I talk about diligence, and we can look that up for us real quick, so you guys really get to the point of what I'm saying here. Let's take a look at the definition of diligence: careful and persistent work or effort. So if we are truly pushing to become skilled traders, diligence is necessary. This discipline that we're trying to establish is necessary. And so the subheading, measurement and management, is really what I'm going to dive into today, about being able to measure your performance on your job, because we're into this idea of measuring, or excuse me, we're into this idea of managing everything about our lives, especially when it comes to trading, something a bit more tangible. We can really quantify our trading abilities. So we're trying to manage this. And what do I mean when I say that? Is I'm trying to improve my trading. What does that mean? Well, for most of us, that means making money in the stock market, making more money in the stock market if you already are. So how do you manage that? Well, I'm gonna, continue to get consistent and do these things. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you are not taking specific quantifiable measurements on your trading, how are you possibly going to manage that? You're just going to, paint with a broad brush and say that, I'm really going to work on trading this month. I'm going to dive into it. Well, what aspects are you talking about? Let's start to measure this stuff. And so I'm going to get into a few details. Bear with me here. I promise we're getting somewhere. First and foremost, I want you guys to be planning. And again, risk management. And this is, I skipped over this because this should be the overall idea behind all risk management is coming up with a plan and following that plan, right? Going into battle with strategy is what we're focused on here. So with that in mind, what I want you guys to do moving forward, if you aren't already, is to plan your risk to reward ratio and record it. So what I mean by that is, let's say we want to take a trade, and I know most of you guys know this. I'm going over it briefly. Let's say we have a 50 tick stop loss, and we're going, and our TP level we're aiming for is 100 ticks. Pretty straightforward, right? I think most of us can grasp that. I would hope so, at least. So we already have our plan. We're coming up to this level. Before we jump into the trade, we can say, okay, I'm going to get off in at the top of these order blocks here. And I'm saying that again, this is example, this is not the specific setup, but an example would be my stop loss is going to be 50 ticks. That's a good level for me to get into. And a good TP is going to be 100 ticks because of this reason and that reason. Right. So we came up with a plan based off technical analysis and also fundamental analysis, making sure there's no crazy news or anything going on. And as we move forward, so that's the plan, right? 2-to-1. So I encourage you guys, I highly encourage you guys to write that down. Say, okay, for today's trade that I'm going in, the first initial trade, I'm planning on a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And I don't want to get out unless I hit 100 ticks, and I don't want to get out unless I lose 50 ticks, right? Pretty straightforward. So that's your planned risk to reward. So notate that in your journal. And then I also want you to notate your actual risk to reward ratio. And so if you got out at 90 ticks, or you got stopped out at 50 or whatever it was, what was the actual risk to reward? Like, did you take profit beforehand? And just calculate that. And again, like I said, I'll move forward this quickly. So let's just come up with your planned risk to reward was 2-to-1. Your actual risk to reward was 1.75-to-1. Okay, cool. We got that. Do that for every trade. So then you can start to see, okay, well, and now you're starting to manage your trades here. Well, I was planning on 2-to-1, and I actually got a 1.75. And then the next trade, I planned on 1-to-3 or 3-to-1, and I got out at 2-to-1. So you can look at your planned risk to reward ratio, and then you can look at your actual risk to reward ratio. And I'm getting to a point, I promise. The reason you want to do that is these measurements start to really make sense. And with that comes your win ratio. So you can start, as you're notating and journaling all these trades, you have a few data points. You have what your planned risk to reward was, your actual risk to reward, and then your actual win rate. Because you're notating all these trades, the win rate will come with that. You can just put an L or a W next to your trades. So now I know that I am winning let's say 62% of my trades, and my risk to reward, my actual risk to reward ratio is like a 1.75. We can calculate that and find out, are you really profitable? Have you been profitable in the past week? And then have you been profitable in the past month, or whatever it is? And I hope you guys are understanding the point I'm getting to here is taking these quantifiable measurements of your trading performance, and then you can put that into a spreadsheet, or maybe it's just a piece of paper on your desk. Nonetheless, you're starting to manage your performance, and you can start to track your progress or your regression. And the reason that is so important is because without that, it is like you are playing pickup basketball when you are trying to make the pro level leagues. You're trying to get to the NBA, and the only thing you're doing to put in work is going to play pickup ball with your friends. Without this management, there is no way that you're going to be able, without this management and progress statistics that you start to work on and see where your faults lie. There's no way you're going to make it from these pickup courts to the NBA. And it's the same thing here. There's no way you're going to go from an unprofitable trader to a profitable trader just from, jumping in the markets and following other people's trades online. Truly, that's it. I mean, and again, I'm not, standing from a pedestal here. This is from experience. And it's also, I also want to say, I mean, it's your own life. If you do just want to copy trades, by all means, it's your life, it's your money, you're doing what you want to do. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you are truly trying to become a consistently profitable trader, this is what needs to happen. You need to start making quantifiable measurements in your trades, and you need to manage that. And as you do so, you will start to get a really good idea of where your biggest faults lie and where your biggest strengths lie. So I encourage you guys to journal these specific things down: your risk, your planned risk to reward ratio, your actual risk to reward ratio, and your win-loss ratio. And when you do that, and the reason I want you to include the planned risk to reward ratio is because you can start to set more realistic goals. Say you're shooting for a 3-to-1 on every trade, but your actual comes out to a 1.9 every trade. So you can start to set more realistic, tangible goals for yourself that are better to achieve. And in doing so, you become more disciplined in following through on your plan. And then you also get a little bit of encouragement when you start to, reach your goals or come close to them, or maybe even exceed them. So I don't say these things lightly. I say these things from experience, knowing what it's like from, starting off, not even knowing that you, like, never once hearing of someone taking or journaling down a trade, to becoming extremely diligent in what I measured. And when I say diligent, I mean all of my emotions, all of the planning behind a trade, every single statistic that I could gather, and then back to, over trading and seeing where each of those courses led me, and knowing that for me, this stuff, managing your trades, had tremendous gain for me. And again, that's just what worked for me. I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it, but I'm saying that I would really encourage you to do it because that's what worked for me. And I know that's what works for a lot of other people as well. So that's, I know this isn't a super long lesson, but that's what I'm trying to get across to you guys, is that we don't need to, like, all this information out there. We could go into each lesson being 2.5 hours long, and just full of jargon and stuff that can be important. The technical knowledge behind this stuff is important, and we should, really study good risk management strategies. But the overarching theme behind risk management is going to be measuring and managing your strategy that is designed specifically for you and your portfolio. So let's take a break. Let's take a pause. I know that was a tangent, but let me know what you guys think about that. Hopefully, one of you is listening out of the 9 members we have here today. But let me know what you think of that. It doesn't make sense. Are there questions? Are you already doing this? Have you seen, like, give me a testimony if you have seen this in your own life, or are you going to try it? Like, I don't see anyone typing either, brothers. I need a little bit of something. I'm talking to a camera here. Let me hear it in the chat. Give me something. I'm going to enjoy some water in the meantime. Anything. Maybe it's just a hello, John, would be nice. We'll hang out. We'll hang out. Hey, I got that. I got the hello, John. Well, I do appreciate that. I actually do. No worries, no worries. You're probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? He's just yelling at me and telling me to type in the chat. Well, no worries. This is a recorded session, and I think it's a good one. It's really short. You guys can put on YouTube when I post it, just put in 1.5 times speed and just listen for the gold bits that you can apply to your trading strategy and throw out the rest. But I do encourage you guys to listen back to it. I know it's just simple and it should make sense, but there's a lot of us not doing that. And I highly encourage you guys to start to measure and manage your trades in these really simple ways. It's just paying attention to your risk to reward ratio, what you planned it to be, what it actually was, and then from there it's easy to calculate your win-loss ratio. Then you can look at from that equation, looking at your risk to reward ratio and your win-loss ratio, and that would equal your gains. And then you can look at your proposed gains, and then you can look at your actual gains on your prop firm or on your live account. You can be like, okay, well, where's the math going wrong? What am I doing wrong? Am I measuring it right? Anyway, look at this big old pump happening right now. We like it. Well, that's a big thing I got for you guys. I had some other notes, but I don't want to, bog down these lessons with something that, you can't take away and directly apply. Because I have some more stuff on position sizing. And if you guys want to hear about it, let me know and I'll shoot them out there. But I want to keep this, especially risk management, I want to keep it short and concise and applicable to your trading directly. So that's what we're here to do, is just improve as traders and improve as people. So let's continue to do that, and hopefully you guys gain something from today. But I also, for those of you who did join in late, when I first started this lesson, I proposed a question to you guys. The question was, what do you guys want me to cover in these sessions? I'm going to be going over 3 things as my position here in Eternal Exchange. It's risk management, psychology, and overall wellness. Those are the 3 things that I'm going to be covering. So I don't want to go over things that you guys don't care about. Like, some things really interest me in psychology, like the biology behind it, what chemicals are doing what. And maybe that is beneficial for you. I know it's beneficial for me, but I know a lot of people don't care about that stuff. And so I'm going to give you guys a few options. I'm going to put it out in the general chat for you guys to vote on for this month's topics that I'm going to be covering for risk management, for psychology, and wellness. So if you can't give me an answer right now, just have it in the back of your mind. And it really does help me to know what you guys are trying to hear. And maybe you don't know the questions to ask or the topics to cover. So I'll give you guys a few suggestions in the chat, and hopefully I can get your wheels turning and say, you know what, that actually sounds really good doing that, and this does not at all. So hopefully you guys will continue to grow and learn with me. I promise I'm going to be putting in more and more work as we move forward. I'm going to try to become the best teacher that I know how to be. And your criticism really helps me. So constructive criticism, don't yell at me, I'll cry. But your constructive criticism really does help me. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm not going to continue to yell at you guys. Focus on your risk management and your mental health and your physical health and your spiritual health, guys. I mean, that stuff matters. And if you haven't noticed already, bring that subconscious to the conscious, and start to pay attention to how don't subcategorize your life. Don't say trading's over here and my mental health is over here, because they're directly intertangled. I mean, it's like, it seems like in Western medicine we treat mental health and physical health, but my mind is part of my body. So we need to think of these things differently, guys. So let's start doing that. I saw JB posted the book on psychology and some homework. Are we working through that? I missed that session. So that is JB's stuff that's on the side. I'm not connected with that. JB is very, very involved and up to date on market news and what he has to say. Whenever he says something, I listen and I read to it. So I encourage you guys to do the same, but it is not related to my lessons. So what JB is putting out is separate to what I'm teaching. I need to work on shutting it down. I need to work on shutting it down on a winning and losing day. That's a topic I'd be interested in. Sweet. Thank you. I'm going to screenshot that really quickly. Bada boom, bada bang. Thank you. Thank you. Put that in my notes and move forward with that, because, you know, this is stuff I want to do. I don't want to just preach at you guys about stuff that you already know. Frustration leading to over trading. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely cover that. That's actually in part of my lesson plan already for psychology. So that's great. Appreciate that feedback as well. Well, alrighty, guys. Not going to keep you here for too long. You guys know what you need to do. So just go out and do it. Start measuring this stuff. And if you missed it, it'll be on YouTube. Put it on 1.5 or 2 times speed. Listen to it really quick. Keep the gold. Throw out the rest of it. And give me some feedback, and we'll be just fine. So if you guys have any other questions, shoot them out in the chat. Drink water today. If you guys haven't worked out already, go do something. And if you're not into weightlifting, if you're not into yoga, go for a walk. I mean, go do something. You're blessed with this capable body. No matter how incapable you may feel, there are things that each and every one of us can do. So I encourage you guys to go do it, and you will benefit from it. All right, guys. Well, it seems like that's it. Appreciate you guys a ton. Like I said, go hydrate. Be conscious of what you put into your body, because you are literally what you eat on every cellular level. That's a fact. So go eat some healthy stuff. And I appreciate you guys. I love you all. And we'll catch you next time. Tomorrow I'll be on, same time, for wellness. I'm excited about that one. See you guys.